Hey everyone, I need some advice. Or maybe I just need to get this off my chest. I don't know anymore. My name's Karen, I'm 34, and I've been married to my husband, Mike, 36, for 10 years. I always thought we had a strong marriage. We have 2 kids, a house, and what I thought was a solid partnership. But now, I'm not so sure anymore. It all started a few weeks ago when my friend Jessica invited me to a dance event at a new club downtown. Nothing crazy, just a little girls' night out while Mike was working late. I even asked him if he minded me going, and he just waved it off, saying, "Go have fun, just don't drink too much." He trusts me completely, or at least he did. The night started off innocent enough. We had a few drinks, danced, laughed, just a normal night out. But then Justin showed up. He was one of Jessica's friends, someone I'd met maybe once or twice before. Tall, confident, charming in that effortless way. The kind of guy who knew exactly how to talk to a woman and make her feel like the only one in the room. At first, it was just harmless conversation. He complimented my dress, made me laugh, told me I was the best dancer in the group. It felt good. Too good. Mike never really compliments me like that anymore. Not that I blame him. We've been married for a decade, and things get routine. Then Jessica, being her usual playful, reckless self, suggested a game. She dared me to give Justin my panties. I laughed it off at first, but the drinks had been flowing, and everyone was watching me, egging me on. It's just a joke. Mike will never know. Come on, live a little. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I wanted to feel desirable. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't just a wife and mother. Maybe I just wanted to see how far I could go without actually crossing a line. So, in a stupid moment of drunken excitement, I slipped them off and handed them to him under the table. I thought that would be the end of it. A flirty, silly, slightly reckless moment. But I had no idea that one small decision would spiral into something so much bigger, something I couldn't control. Because Justin wasn't done with me yet. The moment Justin took my panties, I felt a mix of thrill and regret. The way he smirked at me, twirling them around his fingers under the table where no one else could see. It sent a shiver through me, but not entirely in a good way. It was exciting, but also dangerous. I tried to brush it off, laughing with the girls, acting like it was no big deal. But I could feel Justin's eyes on me the rest of the night. Every time I moved, he was there, getting me another drink, whispering something in my ear, finding little ways to touch my arm or brush against me. Jessica noticed and gave me a knowing look. "Someone's having fun," she teased. I rolled my eyes. "It's just flirting. Doesn't mean anything." She leaned in, lowering her voice. "Doesn't it?" I wanted to argue, but deep down, I wasn't sure anymore. Then things escalated. Justin pulled me onto the dance floor, and I didn't resist. The music was loud, the lights were low, and the alcohol had softened my better judgment. His hands found my waist, pulling me close, and for a few minutes, I let myself get lost in it. It felt intoxicating to be wanted like that, to feel his breath against my neck, his hands gripping me like he couldn't get enough. And then he leaned in, his lips just inches from mine. That was my wake-up call. I turned my head away at the last second, breaking the moment. I can't," I stammered. "I'm married." His smirk didn't fade. If anything, it grew. "You weren't thinking about that when you handed me these," he said, tapping his pocket where my underwear still sat. My stomach twisted. What the hell was I doing? I needed to go. I needed to get away from him, from this situation, before I made a mistake I couldn't take back. "I should go," I said quickly, stepping back. But before I could escape, Jessica and the others surrounded me, laughing, pulling me back into the group. "One more drink," they cheered. Justin didn't let go of my wrist right away. His fingers lingered just a little too long before he finally released me. I should have left right then and there, but I didn't. And that was the second mistake of the night. I should have left. I knew that, but I didn't. Jessica shoved another drink into my hand, and before I knew it, I was back at the table, laughing like nothing had happened, like I hadn't just felt another man's breath on my skin, like my underwear wasn't still sitting in his pocket. I tried to act normal, but my hands were shaking when I picked up my glass. Justin noticed. He leaned in close, his voice barely a whisper over the music. "You're nervous," he said. "No, I'm just—" I fumbled for words. "I think I had too much to drink." "Then let me get you some water," he offered smoothly. "Or maybe some fresh air?" That was the moment. The last exit ramp before disaster. I could have said no. I could have walked away. Instead, I nodded. Jessica shot me a look, but didn't stop me. Maybe she thought it was all still harmless. Maybe she just didn't care. Justin guided me toward the exit, his hand resting lightly on my lower back. The second we stepped outside, the cool night air hit me, and I realized how lightheaded I was. Everything was spinning, not just from the alcohol, but from the weight of what I was doing. He turned to face me, standing too close. "You're beautiful, you know that?" I laughed awkwardly, looking away. "Justin, you don't have to explain." He cut me off. "I know you're married. I know this isn't something you do." I swallowed hard. "Exactly. So this has to stop." "Then why did you come out here with me?" I didn't have an answer for that. Before I could say anything, he reached into his pocket, pulled out my underwear, and dangled them between his fingers. "You sure you really want to stop?" I should have slapped them out of his hand. I should have stormed back inside, called Mike, told him to come pick me up. Instead, I stared at them, my breath catching in my throat. Justin took that as an invitation. The next thing I knew, his lips were on mine, his hands gripping my waist, pulling me against him. And for a few seconds, just a few seconds, I let it happen. And then I kissed him back. The second my lips moved against his, it was like something inside me snapped. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a free fall. A moment where every thought of Mike, my marriage, my life, everything just disappeared. All I felt was Justin's hands gripping me, his mouth pressing harder, the heat between us. And I let it happen, until reality slammed into me like a truck. I pulled back, gasping. I can't," I whispered, my fingers trembling as they touched my lips, as if I could wipe away what had just happened. "This is wrong." Justin didn't look shaken at all. If anything, he looked amused. Like he knew all along this was going to happen. Like he had me exactly where he wanted me. "Relax," he said smoothly, stepping closer. "It's just a kiss. No one has to know." I shook my head, trying to clear my thoughts. No, I have to go." He caught my wrist before I could move. "Karen," his voice was lower now, almost soothing. "Come on. You've already had a little fun tonight. What's the harm in a little more?" The way he said it, so confident, so sure that I wouldn't resist, made something in me snap back into place. I yanked my arm free. "I'm going home," I said, my voice firm this time. Justin sighed, running a hand through his hair like he was disappointed, but not surprised. "Suit yourself," he said. But before I could turn away, he pulled my panties from his pocket again and smirked. "Guess I'll just have to keep these as a souvenir then." My stomach dropped. "Give them back." He chuckled. "Make me." I stared at him, heart pounding. I wasn't going to fight him for them in the middle of the street, and he knew that. "Relax, Karen," he said, slipping them back into his pocket. "They're safe with me. Unless, of course, you'd rather come get them later?" Disgust and panic twisted together in my chest. I turned on my heel and walked away as fast as I could without running. Jessica was still inside, laughing with the others, completely unaware of what had just happened. I grabbed my purse, muttered something about not feeling well, and bolted for the nearest cab. The whole ride home, I felt sick. My lips were still tingling from Justin's kiss, but all I felt was shame. I had crossed a line. And the worst part, I wasn't sure that was the end of it. When I got home, the house was dark except for the glow of the TV in the living room. Mike was on the couch, half asleep, still in his work clothes. He must have just gotten back. For a moment, I just stood there, staring at him. My husband, the man I had promised to love and be faithful to. And yet, here I was, bare under my dress, my lips still tingling from another man's kiss. Guilt hit me like a punch to the gut. I thought about waking him up and telling him everything. I thought about dropping to my knees and begging for forgiveness before this got any worse. But then he shifted in his sleep, mumbling something incoherent, and I froze. If I told him, it would destroy him. It would destroy us. No, I could fix this. I would fix this. I slipped off my heels and tiptoed upstairs, stripping out of my dress and tossing it in the laundry, as if washing it would erase what happened. I crawled into bed, trying to ignore how exposed I felt without my underwear, and pulled the blanket over me. But sleep didn't come. Instead, my mind replayed the night over and over. The flirting, the kiss, Justin's smug expression as he tucked my panties into his pocket, like some kind of trophy. I should have felt nothing but disgust. So why did part of me feel electrified? I rolled onto my side, squeezing my eyes shut. No, this was just guilt twisting my thoughts. I loved Mike. I didn't want Justin. This was just a stupid mistake. One I would never repeat. I just had to pretend nothing happened. But the next morning, when I checked my phone, there was a message from an unknown number. Morning, beautiful. Sleep well. My heart stopped. Justin. Before I could even think of a response, a second message popped up. Hope you didn't forget what you left with me. Let me know when you want them back. I dropped my phone like it burned me. I had made a mistake. A huge mistake. And it wasn't over yet. My hands were shaking as I stared at the messages. My heart pounded so loudly I swore Mike would hear it from downstairs. Justin had my underwear. He was keeping them. And now he had my number too. How did he even get it? Jessica. It had to be her. She must have given it to him last night, probably thinking it was harmless fun. I felt sick. I deleted the messages and threw my phone onto the bed like that would somehow erase the situation. But it didn't. I could still hear Justin's voice in my head, feel the heat of his hands on me. I had to shut this down. Before I lost my nerve, I grabbed my phone and typed a response. Justin, last night was a mistake. Please delete my number and don't contact me again. I hovered over the send button. Was that enough? Should I demand my underwear back? No. That would just open the door for more conversation. I just needed this to end. I hit send. Seconds later, my phone buzzed. A mistake? Come on, Karen. You didn't seem so regretful last night. I clenched my jaw. Another message. But if you're really that ashamed, fine. I won't say a word, as long as you play nice. What the hell did that mean? Before I could respond, another message popped up, this time a photo. I felt my stomach drop. It was me, outside the club, kissing him. Justin had taken a picture. My hands went cold. A new message followed immediately. You really want this to be a secret? Then let's talk. I think you owe me a drink. I gripped my phone so tightly my fingers hurt. This wasn't just some flirty game anymore. Justin was blackmailing me. I sat there, staring at my phone, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might be sick. Justin took a picture. This wasn't some stupid mistake I could bury and forget. He had proof. And now, he was using it against me. I couldn't let Mike see that photo. I couldn't let him know. With shaking hands, I typed back. Justin, delete that picture. This isn't funny. The dots appeared instantly, like he'd been waiting. Relax, Karen. I told you, I won't say a word, as long as you don't make me. I swallowed hard. What do you want? Just a drink. To talk. That's all. Meet me tonight. No. No. If I met him, I'd be digging myself even deeper. But if I didn't, would he send the picture to Mike? Would he show Jessica? My friends? Would he ruin me? I hesitated too long. Another message came through. Don't make me send this to your husband, Karen. We both know he wouldn't take it well. My whole body went cold. Justin wasn't playing anymore. I had no choice. Fine. One drink. That's it. His reply came immediately. Knew you'd see things my way. See you at 8. Wear something nice. I clenched my jaw and threw my phone onto the bed, gripping my temples. I was trapped. And the worst part? Somewhere deep down, I wasn't just afraid. I was excited. The whole day, I was on edge. I jumped every time my phone buzzed, avoided looking Mike in the eye, and barely touched my food at dinner. Mike noticed. You okay? He asked, his voice filled with concern. You've been quiet. I forced a smile. Just a headache. Didn't sleep well. He nodded, not pushing further. That's what I hated about this. Mike trusted me. He had no idea his wife was sneaking off to meet another man. By 7:30, I told Mike I was going to meet Jessica for a quick drink. He didn't even question it. Just kissed me on the forehead and told me to drive safe. I felt like the worst person on earth. By the time I pulled up to the dimly lit bar Justin had chosen, my hands were gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles were white. I could turn around. I could block his number, go home, confess everything. But then what? No. I had to do this. Just get the photo, make sure he stays quiet, and leave. I stepped inside. Justin was already there, lounging in a booth near the back, a drink in hand. When he saw me, he grinned like he had already won. "Right on time," he said as I slid into the seat across from him. "I like a woman who keeps her word." I crossed my arms. "Justin, just tell me what you want. This has to stop." He chuckled, swirling the ice in his glass. "Relax, Karen. Have a drink." "I don't want a drink. I want that photo deleted." His smirk didn't fade. "And I will delete it. But first," he leaned forward, eyes locked on mine. "Tell me the truth. Did you regret it? Or did it make you feel alive?" I swallowed hard. It was a mistake. He watched me for a long moment, then grinned. "Liar." I clenched my fists. "Justin." "Shoo." He pulled out his phone, tapping the screen. A second later, he held it up, showing me the photo. My heart pounded. "All you have to do," he said slowly, "is be a little nice to me, and this goes away forever." I felt trapped. "What do you mean, nice?" I whispered. Justin leaned closer, his voice low and teasing. "Don't worry, Karen. I won't ask you to do anything you don't already want to do." My pulse raced. I should have slapped him, thrown my drink in his face, stormed out. Instead, I sat there, unable to move. Because the terrifying truth was, I didn't know if I wanted to. I should have left. I wanted to leave. But I didn't. Justin had this way of looking at me, like he already knew what I was going to do before I did, like he could see right through my lies. He leaned back in his seat, watching me struggle. "You're thinking too much," he murmured. "You don't have to fight it, Karen." I swallowed hard. "Fight what?" His smirk deepened. "That feeling. The one that made you kiss me in the first place." I opened my mouth to protest, to deny it, but the words caught in my throat. Because no matter how much I wanted to rewrite that moment in my head, the truth was, I had kissed him back. I hated how easily he could twist things. How he made my mistake feel like something inevitable. Like something I wanted. "I just want you to delete the picture," I said finally, my voice barely above a whisper. Justin sighed dramatically. "You're no fun." But then he held up his phone, scrolling through his gallery. "Fine. Watch." I leaned forward as he tapped the screen. The photo disappeared into the trash. Then he clicked again. "Delete permanently?" My breath caught as I watched his thumb hover over the button. And then click. It was gone. I exhaled, tension draining from my shoulders. "That's it. That's it," he said with a lazy smile. "See, I'm a man of my word." Something inside me uncoiled. I could breathe again. "Okay," I muttered, grabbing my purse. "Then I'm leaving." But before I could stand, Justin reached across the table, his fingers grazing mine. "Karen," his voice was softer now, almost gentle. "You really don't have to go." I froze. "You're here," he continued, his thumb lightly brushing over my knuckles. "You came to meet me. That means something, doesn't it?" I shook my head, but it wasn't convincing. "I came because you forced me." "Did I?" His lips twitched. "Or did you want an excuse?" I should have slapped his hand away. I should have walked out. But instead, I let him touch me. And when he stood up and held out his hand, I didn't stop myself from taking it. I let him lead me out of the bar. I let him guide me to his car. I let myself get in. And as soon as the door shut behind me, I let him kiss me again. Only this time, I didn't pull away. The second the car door shut, Justin's hands were on me. His fingers gripped my waist, pulling me onto his lap before I could even think to stop him. His mouth crashed against mine, rough, hungry, like he had been waiting for this. And the worst part? I kissed him back. I didn't think about Mike. I didn't think about my marriage. I didn't think about anything except how Justin's hands felt sliding up my thighs, How my breath hitched as he pulled me closer. How my body responded in a way that terrified me. "Tell me to stop," he murmured against my neck. I opened my mouth, but no words came out, because I didn't want him to stop. Not then. Not when his fingers trailed over my bare skin, reminding me of a stupid, reckless mistake I had made when I handed him my panties the night before. Not when his lips moved lower, setting my skin on fire. Not when I felt his heartbeat racing against mine, knowing we were about to cross a line that could never be undone. Somewhere deep down, a tiny voice screamed at me to get out, to run. But I ignored it, because in that moment, nothing else existed except the heat of Justin's body against mine, the thrill of knowing I was doing something so wrong, and the terrifying realization that I didn't want to stop. So I didn't. The second it was over, reality came crashing down. I sat in the back seat, my dress rumpled, my heart still racing, but not from excitement anymore. From fear. From guilt. What the hell had I just done? Justin leaned back against the seat, a smug grin on his face. "Damn," he murmured, running a hand through his hair. "I knew you had it in you." I felt sick. This wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't thrilling or exciting. It was real. And I had just destroyed everything. I scrambled to fix my dress, my hand shaking so badly I could barely zip it up. "I have to go," I choked out. Justin raised an eyebrow, but didn't stop me. Already, I shot him a glare, my stomach twisting at the way he was so relaxed. Like this was just another night for him. Like it didn't mean anything. For him, maybe it didn't. For me, it meant I had just betrayed my husband. I reached for the door handle, but before I could open it, Justin grabbed my wrist, firm, but not rough. His eyes met mine, and for the first time, there was something in them I couldn't quite place. "Karen," he said slowly. I yanked my arm away. "Don't," he smirked, shaking his head. "You can pretend all you want, but we both know this isn't the end." I didn't answer. I just threw the door open and ran. Out of the car. Down the sidewalk. Away from the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't even realize I was crying until I got behind the wheel of my own car and saw my reflection in the mirror. Tears streaked my face. My lipstick was smeared. My hair was a mess. I looked like a woman who had just cheated on her husband. And the worst part? I couldn't take it back. The drive home was a blur. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. My stomach twisted in knots. I wanted to throw up. I wanted to rewind time. I wanted to wake up and find out this was all some terrible dream. But it wasn't. I pulled into the driveway and sat there for a moment, staring at the house I had built with Mike. The porch light was on, just like it always was when I came home late. A small thing, but it made my chest ache. Mike was inside, probably half asleep in front of the TV, completely unaware that his wife had just given herself to another man in the backseat of a car. I wiped my face, checked my reflection. My lipstick was gone. My eyes were red. I looked like someone with something to hide. I had to pull it together. I took a deep breath, got out of the car, and walked inside. The second I stepped through the door, I heard Mike's voice from the living room. "Hey, babe, you're home late." I froze. He was sitting on the couch, exactly where I had left him, looking up at me with a tired but warm smile. My heart clenched so hard I thought I might collapse. I forced a smile. "Yeah." Jessica kept talking my ear off. The lie slipped out so easily, it scared me. Mike chuckled and stretched. That woman could talk for hours. Then he patted the couch beside him. "Come sit with me for a bit." I hesitated. I didn't deserve to sit next to him. I didn't deserve his kindness. But if I refused, he'd notice. So I walked over and curled up beside him, ignoring the way my skin still tingled from Justin's touch. Mike draped an arm around me, pressing a kiss to my hair. "Missed you." Tears burned behind my eyes. I had to fix this. I had to make it up to him. So I turned to him, forcing a playful smile. "Missed me, huh?" I teased, trailing a hand down his chest. His eyebrows lifted in surprise. "Well, yeah." He laughed. "You okay? You never get this flirty after a girl's night." I wasn't okay. Not even close. But I needed to erase what I had done. I needed to bury it under something real. So I kissed him. Hard. Mike made a surprised noise, but quickly melted into it, pulling me closer. His hands were warm, familiar, safe. But as we moved to the bedroom, as he made love to me with nothing but love and trust in his eyes, all I could think about was how just an hour ago I had been in another man's arms, and how, no matter what I did, I could never undo it. The next morning, everything felt wrong. Mike was still asleep beside me, his breathing slow and steady. His arm was draped across my waist like it always was, pulling me close. Normally, it made me feel safe. But today, it made my stomach twist. I had slept with my husband hours after betraying him. I slipped out of bed carefully, not wanting to wake him. The second my feet hit the cold floor, reality slammed into me again. I had cheated. I had lied. And now, I had to live with it. I went to the bathroom and shut the door behind me. The second I looked in the mirror, I felt disgusted. My skin still smelled like Mike. But if I closed my eyes, I could still feel Justin. I turned on the sink and scrubbed my hands, my wrists, my neck, anywhere Justin had touched me. Like I could wash away what I had done. But no matter how much I scrubbed, I still felt dirty. I gripped the edge of the sink, my breath coming fast. This wasn't me. I wasn't this person. I just had to pretend it never happened. Justin had deleted the picture. No one else knew. If I just buried it deep enough, maybe, I could forget too. I took a deep breath and forced myself to walk back into the bedroom like nothing was wrong. Mike stirred, his eyes fluttering open. When he saw me, he smiled sleepily. Morning, beautiful. Guilt slammed into me so hard I almost choked. I climbed back into bed beside him, forcing a small smile. Morning. He kissed my forehead and pulled me into his arms. I love you. I squeezed my eyes shut. I love you too. And I hated myself for how easily the lie came out. I spent the next few days pretending everything was normal. I kissed Mike like nothing had changed. I laughed at his jokes, cooked dinner, tucked our kids into bed. I went through the motions, trying to be the perfect wife, hoping that if I played the role well enough, my guilt would disappear. But it didn't. It sat in my chest like a weight, pressing harder with every fake smile, every lie. And then, just when I thought I could move on, Justin texted me again. Miss me. I stared at my phone, my stomach twisting. I had blocked his number the night after it happened, but somehow, he found a way to reach me. I didn't respond. A minute later, another text popped up. Don't go quiet on me now, Karen. We had fun, didn't we? My hands clenched into fists. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. Then another message. Relax. I just want to see you again. Just once. For old time's sake. My heart pounded. Old times? It had been less than a week. Before I could even think of what to do, another message came in. A picture. My breath caught in my throat. It wasn't the one he had deleted. It was a new one. Taken that night, in the back seat, just after it was over. I was still in his lap, my head tilted back, lips parted, eyes hazy. I felt sick. Another message. I took a little souvenir. Don't worry, I'll keep it safe. Unless, of course, you don't want to play nice. I nearly dropped the phone. He lied. He still had leverage over me. And now, I was trapped all over again. My fingers trembled as I held the phone. Justin still had a picture. He still had proof. My heart was racing so fast I could barely breathe. I had let my guard down. I had believed him when he said he deleted everything. I was so stupid. I swallowed hard and typed back. What do you want? The reply came instantly. You already know, Karen. One more night. That's all. I squeezed my eyes shut, bile rising in my throat. One night. It wouldn't stop there. If I gave in, he'd never let me go. I had to think. I had to get out of this. But how? If I ignored him, he could send a picture to Mike. If I fought back, he could ruin my marriage. I stared at the screen, my pulse hammering. Then suddenly, the bedroom door creaked open. Karen. I nearly jumped out of my skin. I turned quickly, shoving my phone under the pillow as Mike stepped inside. He looked at me with sleepy concern, rubbing the back of his neck. Everything okay? You were up early. I forced a smile, my voice shaky. Yeah, just couldn't sleep. He frowned and walked over, sitting beside me on the bed. You sure? You've been acting weird lately. Panic surged in my chest. Did he know? Could he tell? I reached for his hand, squeezing it a little too tightly. I'm fine, I lied. Just a lot on my mind. Mike studied me for a second, then kissed my forehead. All right. If you need to talk, I'm here. I almost burst into tears right then and there. He loved me. He trusted me. And I had betrayed him. And now, I was about to lie to him again. Because no matter what it took, no matter how far I had to go, I had to stop Justin before he destroyed everything.